Yo, what's up, everybody? Good evening, and happy Friday to you. This is your boy Q, and welcome to the Devil and His Advocate. Now, of course, at this moment, as you see, my co-host is not quite made it yet because it's my fault that he's late. Okay, it's my fault that he's late because I asked him to make a run before he got here, and so it's my fault that he's late. But thank you so much for joining the show on today. Now, listen, we got a great show for you on tonight. Listen, we want you to do us a favor to drop your comments and things of that nature. We definitely do appreciate all that good stuff there. Of course, the viewer and listener discretion is advised. Please understand that this conversation is our opinion, and do us a favor and for your, your entertainment only. Do us a favor and be 21 and up to watch this show and even say anything correspondence to us and all that good stuff. Make sure you're 21 and older. We do know social media requires you to be 18 plus as an adult. That's what they could consider you as. But at this particular moment, to us, you're not grown. Okay, you ain't grown. So don't come up in here, and you not 21. Just don't do that. Thank you so much again for watching the show with us on tonight. So listen, my boy is on his way. When he comes, we're gonna go on a quick break. We can give him a chance to get settled, and then we'll go ahead and go on with the show. But what I'm gonna do here, I am going to start off like this, to just till he gets here. I am going to share a video with y'all, and I would just a quick little conversation that I was privy to have at one point in time. But I wanted to start the show out like this. Now, I like to talk about things of the church, and we like to talk about the things of the church and making sure that that what some people post and things of that nature that you kind of actually pay attention to. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna share this video and I want y'all to drop y'all comments now. I want y'all to talk to me about this because this is gonna be something serious. Thank you, moderator. I sure appreciate that. Hey, Aunt Jackie, thank you so much for joining. Hey, sis. Hey, Lola, 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 Lola. All right. Brittany, what's up? Brittany Black, that's my other sister. Thank you so much for joining us on tonight. Now, check this out. Now, I want y'all to go ahead and take a look at this video. Moderator, I got the video queued. I should appreciate my moderator. Y'all, thank y'all so much. Y'all tell my moderator thank you in the background. So I'm gonna share my screen real quickly here, and this is gonna be a cool little video or whatever. So I want y'all to tell me what y'all think about this because at the end of the day, it's gonna be a good conversation to have. So let's go ahead. I'm sharing my screen. Y'all check out this video. Y'all listen. Here we go.
But what exactly are they coming to? Because a flyer saying Youth Sunday ain't enough. Y'all keep saying bring the youth, but when they come, the music is outdated, the energy is dry, and the service is not built for them to engage.
Mm,
They're told to sit down and listen, but never given a space to ask questions about what they're hearing. They get handed a mic to read scripture and do announcements,
mm,
but that's not leadership.
mm,
That's a task. The only time they get real attention is when they mess up. Nobody is mentoring them before they fall. They are not looking for a mic.
mm,
They are looking for meaning.
mm,
Y'all want young people, but y'all don't want to change. They want real conversation, and you keep giving them rules. They want mentorship, you keep giving them meetings.
mm.
They want community, but you keep giving them a once a month Sunday where all they do is sing, pray, and take up an offering. If
Well,
you won't grow with them, why would they stay? And a youth leader cannot fix what the church refuses to change. You hire a youth leader, but they're expected to work miracles without any real support.
mm,
They try to introduce something new and it gets shut down with that. That's not how we do things here. They plan something fresh and people don't even show up.
wow.
Not because the youth are not interested, because the church never made it a priority. They are called to fix the youth, but they have no real voice in leadership, no
Mm,
say on decisions, and no real authority to lead. So, how do you get young people involved in church? Give them real responsibility.
mm,
Let them run tech, media, planning, and outreach. Make them a real part of the church, not just a separate ministry. Stop treating the youth ministry like something that runs itself. They don't just need games and pizza, they need mentorship and life skills. Teach them how to navigate relationships and money and purpose with faith.
mm.
Put them in spaces where they're heard. Create a youth advisory board so that they have a voice in the church.
Well,
Bring them into leadership meetings and let them ask real questions. Make church make sense. Connect the Bible in a way for their real life struggles. And stop expecting them to engage with sermons that don't speak to what they're facing. Young people are not running from God. They are running from churches that refuse to make room for them. And if you need help, comment youth, and I'm going to send you something through Messenger.
all right. Thank you so much, sister. We sure appreciate you. Thank you very much. I am no longer sharing it. So I want y'all to drop y'all comments about this. Now I've said this for years, and listen, I catch a lot of flack when talking about church and talking about ministry and how things actually uh really are. Now I remember growing up. Now, yes, some of y'all chime in and talk to me now because I want y'all to chime in, moderate, drop the comments if you can. Um, I get, where she's coming from. When we were growing up, we had a lot of different things that we used to do to create camaraderie. We had, different things like, of course, Vacation Bible School was one of the things, but we also had YPWW. We had used to have a little fun in Sunday school. The church would take us to different places like the park, and we would go to different other churches, to sing in their choirs, and we met other youth from different places, the community centers. We used to volunteer when we were growing up. Different things that actually uh, involved the youth. Now of course we didn't at that time have a youth advisory board. We didn't have anything of that nature. However, what happens is that there was an interest that was piqued, that we will continue in church. Nowadays, with a lot of larger churches, they have a little bit more access because there's a little bit more capital, to do different things. And when it comes to church and the different organizations that the kids can participate in. But if your church is a little bit smaller to maybe medium size, and all you give your youth is a second Sunday, is a second Sunday, is a second Sunday, one more time, is a second Sunday, that they get to show whatever it is that they are able to show as far as their gifts are concerned. You make it mandatory for them to go to youth rehearsal, and then the next thing they got to do the Christmas speeches, the Easter speeches. They got to do all of this stuff, that really in particular churches actually, in my opinion, can be asinine, because if your child don't want to do a speech and you make them do a speech, what happens is they'll do the speech in the spirit of, I don't want to do this. And then they're raised with that mentality that, oh, okay, then, well, if I feel like I don't have to do nothing, then I don't have to do nothing in my church. I just do what I want to do. And the way that you get children involved is if you make it a situation where they're able to connect God with fun. Now, I don't know about you, but I've just never known God to be a boring thing, or whatever the case it is, growing up in different, well, I grew up Baptist. So you grow up Baptist or whatever, they say Baptist is way down on the totem pole as far as being saved is concerned. So, don't mind me. I just grew up in churches where the pastor smoked and the pastor studied. So don't mind me. I'm just saying that when youth want to be involved in church, they look for something more. They look for connection. They look for conversation. And if you don't have the I guess you could say the access to whatever it is, then maybe you should rethink your youth ministry. Maybe you should rethink who's running your youth ministry. Because guess what? Just because a pastor can pastor doesn't mean he can pastor everybody. People are connected to you, but that doesn't mean that he will connect with everything. And that doesn't mean that he might connect with your children. Let me give myself a hand clap on that one. Now, I'm just saying, we were very, very active, growing up. My co-host is here. Me and him both got on short, so I guess we must have read the rather correctly. I'm glad that you guys are responding to this, and I'm gonna fill him in when he gets a seat and stuff like that. Keith, you said that there really isn't much to say on their notes. She pretty much covered it all. The youth really doesn't have a voice because they're really not appreciated, well, respected. That is true. A lot of youth are not respected in churches. and then you expect them to come to church, enjoy church. You get up there and you preach a sermon that's not relatable to them. They're not even, seeing anyone in ministry being trained for them to even look up or aspire to even operate in ministry. What happens is that the voice goes on dead ears, and then you wonder why they're going to sleep. You wonder why they are eating gum. You wonder why they passing candy. You wonder why they acting up. You wonder why cheering way over there be crying some damn where, and you want to shut their asses up, but you can't. you know. And then some of y'all kids don't even know how to behave in children's church. You get over there to the children's church and you think that that person is supposed to sit up and behave with your kids, and then they bad behind when you don't even take care of their business Monday through Friday. I'm gonna give my another a hand clap on that one. So that's beside the point. That's beside the point. The saints act up when they go to the church house, and so do their children. I'm gonna catch you what I was talking about, what I just did. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Hey, Pastor Vic, what's up, man? Thank you for coming on. He said, I grew up Baptist as well. Sadly, my home church is fading away, death by death. Bro, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that. Then the rise and fall of churches. We're going to talk about that one of these days. We're going to talk about that. Kanisha, hey, boo, she said the church has to offer something to the youth, changes with time. That is true. That is true. That is true. So I'm gonna let my co-host get on. We're gonna go on a quick break. I told y'all we was gonna go on a quick break. Don't y'all take y'all ass nowhere, because we gotta have some good conversation on tonight. And listen, I'm serious now. Don't go nowhere. You're gonna make me mad if you do. And I got y'all names on here, so I will send you a message myself. So real quick, I'm gonna play the Mash Gas video, and we'll be right back. Stay right there.
Truth is, I'm scared, cause when I see you coming, all I wanna do is tell you that I love you. I know you're better off without me, cause your tears stain eyes make it dark out when you're around me. Like a needle lost in the sand, the ink dried in my hand. It's unthinkable. Like a bird that never learned to fly, I shouldn't ask you to try. It's unthinkable, but
yeah, absolutely. All right, y'all. All right, y'all. Thank y'all so much for waiting for us. We sure appreciate it.
We are back. I want y'all to read my shirt.
You want them to read your shirt? Okay, you can move the mic just a little bit and bring it towards you. Yeah, just pull it.
Like that.
Yeah, like that.
All right.
They're good for you.
You know.
Yeah, I know.
You know.
Listen, man, don't be
This
this
is our third one.
That third one.
This is our third show.
This is our third show, number 3.
This is our third show.
We
had some mic difficulties the first show. The second show was all rigged up. And we didn't have any issues. Tonight, we're hoping not to have any issues. How everybody's doing tonight?
Man, I got a nigga read. Nigga read. Don't you play with it. Don't you play with it. All right. So what I was talking about until you got here, till we actually started. What's up, Damon? Thank you so much for joining. Hey, Patrice, that's my friend in the Nasty Natty. The Nasty Natty. I used to live in Cincinnati, and that's one of my best friends. But real quick, what we were talking about, what I was discussing, I played a quick little video, and I know you'll go back and watch it. But I played a quick little video. There was this young lady that was actually talking about, how churches are not changing, and if they want youth to be in their church, that they need to kind of basically upgrade with time, that they need to do and have conversations and have different youth advisory boards to really cater to the actual youth in today's church. And she said that, you basically cannot have an actual person to be interested, a young person to be interested in what you have at your church when it's not changing at all. And she basically said that, that the churches need to be able to understand that you can't just be up on a Sunday morning and preaching a message that doesn't relate to them and then expect them to not be engaged and then just giving them a second Sunday a month and then be like, oh, okay, then they should be satisfied. And so I was saying, when I was growing up, there was a lot of different things that we used to do, as kids, and I've seen it at a lot of different churches. We got a couple of pastors that are on tonight, but seen a lot of different churches, disintegrate in their youth, and they can't do anything but the little praise dance with the little streamer things going around kind of deal, and then they got the young adult choir, and they get up there and sing the same darn Sunday, I mean same darn song on the Sunday, or the second Sunday, and then get mad when your kids don't participate because they get tired of going to this church because it's boring, it's nothing to do.
I'm tired of this church.
I'm tired of this church.
I'm tired of this church.
That's what the little boy said. All right, what's up, D? He says, in my opinion, it depends on the church. We have a youth that ushers, does announcements, and even have a minister their age that speaks to them, not just on Youth Sunday. That's a good thing too, D, because it's important for kids to see that, and maybe aspire in something in ministry other than just the razzle dazzle, And some of y'all know y'all kids don't be knowing their steps, and even when they tell y'all to take them cheering home, they sing you the song and they tell you that you practice your move. Them kids go in there and eat their Cheetos and go get right on in the bed with them cheesy hands, and then you got to wake them up the next morning for Sunday, and then they're gonna get up there turning the wrong way. And then you up there taking pictures like that shit is cute. That shit is not cute. Making kids do what they're gonna do, if they are going to participate. Welcome to the devil and his advocate.
I don't know. I don't go to church, so I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, yeah.
I am thinking about going to support my friend Sean at Brentwood tomorrow. I went 2 weeks ago and had a really good time.
I like Brentwood. Brentwood's kind of cool.
A month ago, I think, and it was pretty.
Brentwood's pretty cool.
I enjoyed myself.
I like
I've
Brentwood.
been in church in a very, very long time.
Hey, boo.
Very
Yeah.
long time. But yeah. So
Let's do it. Let's get into it. So, real quick, we're gonna do a real quick recap of a couple of things. And so the first thing we're going to address, if you guys caught the show on last Friday night, I was doing an introduction to what we're going to be doing and what we have been doing on Master Gas Entertainment. Well, Master Gas with the crew with MTG Live, myself, Moswag, Reggie. We were I was discussing and letting you guys know that we're going to talk about, what do women really want, and I started talking about romance. And then, this gentleman right here, was giving his Hinduisms, his sarcasticness, if that's a word, and probably maybe how he really felt in the moment. I'm not really sure. But what happens is that when we got on the show the next day, one of my guest co-hosts had an issue with the way that he responded to speaking about romance. And so because he was not on to defend himself in regards to that, I just want you to clear it up because,
clear what up?
If you see, if
I don't have nothing to clear up.
You ain't got nothing to clear up.
Hell no. I said what I said, and I meant what I said. I'm not all men.
I agree.
I am not all men. I think that there are men out there that are completely into romance, who are there to serve their mates or whoever they're courting at the time. They are 100% that person. Of course, I was being sarcastic in the moment, but I wanted to also be petty in the moment on Saturday, simply because, listen, I am not your college boyfriend that did not want you.
No.
I'm not him.
Oh.
I am not him. I'm not going to be held to his standard. I'm not going to be talked about and told that the Devil and His Advocate is a messy podcast because you disagree with what I said or because you was angry at the fact that I don't give a fuck about romance. That's me. I am not the man for you. And to sit on a platform, to listen in on a platform and literally be ridiculed and something that stemmed from the past night that you actually slept on this to the next morning. To the next morning, you were so heated in the moment.
Yeah.
And then all of the insinuations of what me and Q got going on. If we were, I think she said at one point we
She said something about a bromance or something.
bromance or something. You know, it was all ridiculous. And it all stemmed from you being upset that your college boyfriend didn't want you. And you still single. So it absolutely makes no sense for anybody to be held at that type of standard in that regard. So no.
You good?
Yeah,
You
I'm
good?
fine.
You good? She has since issued an apology to the show, necessarily not about what she said, but how it came across. And so I would just want to let you know that, hey, listen, our shows, we draw a line. After Dark is not Devil and His Advocate. Devil and His Advocate is not MTG Live. You know, we are all under the Mash Gas umbrella, but the shows are completely different, you know. And so, you know, for future references, you know, if you guys have any concern about what we say and shit, put it in the comments on the show that it belongs on. Talk to us, shoot us an email, you know, all that good stuff, because we don't mind addressing any particular thing. You know, I really hated that because, and I want to apologize to everybody that had to witness that, because we had a lot of people witness it, and unfortunately, it's on YouTube, and so go out there and watch it. You know, fuck it. You know, go on out there and watch it if you want to, and see the spectacle. But what happens is that
It was absolutely horrible.
it was bad.
It was absolutely horrible, and it had gotten so bad to where you actually had to end the show. And then I'm speaking to guest co-hosts that were on about what is going on. You know what I'm saying? And it's like you don't want to ignore somebody's. You know, from me, my personality, where I come from, I can be an asshole sometimes, but I'm very serious too. I have a very serious side to me.
Yeah.
And when somebody is hurting, I want to, kind of investigate, what this really is. But when I am being attacked, that is something completely different. And then when I'm being attacked, as a man, then I have to look within myself to say, you know what? Let this person just do what they're supposed to, let them get it out or whatever the case may be. That's as a man, because I have respect for women. But to be disrespectful to a woman, I'm just not going to, I can't really pull myself to do that. But I will speak on the idea of being held to something in your past directly.
Yeah.
Directly. There was nothing. And even though your past looked like your present, I still have nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
So let me as a man be the man that I am. If it's me liking romance, or if it's me not liking romance, or if it's me joking about romance, it is what it is. Sometimes we take life too serious, and sometimes we need to, and then other times we do not.
Yeah.
Especially if it's something personal. If this is a personal thing that you may be going through, then you need to deal with that personally.
Yeah.
Don't attack nobody else and throw digs and innuendos and certain things to people, because you don't know that person. If you want to know, then you ask the question.
Yeah.
But don't dig and insinuate certain things because you felt away. It just didn't make any sense to me. I don't want to talk about it no more. We need to move on.
Let's move on. Are you pouring up the shots? Because we're starting the show now, so you pour up the shots. Okay, so
I've never had this before.
The Cup of Truth. This is the cup of truth. Like it's my turn to administer the oath. I've had it before. It's good. It's good tequila. It's gonna hit you for a second, but
It's
it'll go
going
down.
for, and I have somewhat of an empty stomach because I have not eaten today.
Why do you just pull yours up?
Oh, see, my nerves are still bad. I'm gonna pull yours up
I'll pull them up the rest of the show.
because we have a bromance going on.
Yeah, there you go. I appreciate it. Thank you, sir. All right, so now you got that together. This is some tequila. It's what I call it, tequila, because tequila. Okay, so do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So be the devil's in his advocate.
So be the devil and his
Salute. All right.
Oh, welcome to the Devil and the Advocate, y'all.
Yeah, let's get it over. All right, so let's address some shit. Let's go ahead. Let's jump right on into it. Let's talk about Marvin Sapp right quick.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so we're gonna recap this. As y'all know, Marvin Sapp has been in the media about close the doors. Close the doors.
He never said lock the doors.
Close the doors.
He said close the doors.
So we can raise this 40 grand.
Everything that Marvin said on that interview, the little bit that I did catch, because I didn't hear everything. I didn't need to hear everything. I know he was going to defend that. So I didn't even need to hear what he had to say. And I'm from the church. I'm from the Church of God in Christ. I know what that means. When y'all up, moving around, walking around, and you especially talk about I can do what I want to do.
I can do
up,
what I want to
moving
do.
around, talking, interrupting the flow of the spirit when it's time to give. You know better than that.
Okay.
Now this man got on Ricky Smiley and he said what?
You want me to play the video?
I mean, if you have it.
I got the video. Y'all want to see the video? Yeah, come on, give me that. Yeah, y'all want to see the video. Now look, now listen. Now this video is we're not gonna play the whole thing because it's actually kind of long.
Yeah, let's not play the whole
We
thing.
don't want to play the whole thing. It's
Just play
actually
just a
kinda
little
long.
bit of it.
And so what happens is, oh no, where's the video? Oh, wait a minute. There it is. Oh, there's the video. All right. So what happens is, again, like Marvin Sapp, has been in the media and all that good stuff. And so what's going to happen is he's explaining on Ricky Smiley's show as it relates to the reason, that this video popped up and all this good stuff. So y'all take a look, take a listen real quick. We're not going to play the whole thing because it is kind of long, but we're not going to play the whole thing. But y'all take a listen. So I'm queuing it up right now for y'all so y'all can see it. All right. Like that. Go here, hit share, and here it is. Y'all check it out.
What's trending on the Ricky Smiley Morning Show?
All right, y'all, Ricky Smiley Morning Show, 25 minutes after the hour, y'all. Our next guest has been all over the internet lately, and he's here with us today to set the record straight. He's an award-winning singer, bishop, and pastor of the Chosen Vessel Church in Fort Worth, Texas. Joining us this morning is a friend of the show, Marvin Sapp. And good morning. Thank you for joining this morning. Thank you. And listen, let me say this. I'm not here to exploit this situation. You are my friend.
Thank you, sir.
And I'm a real friend. I'm a loyal friend. You understand? And I haven't even talked to you this week.
No,
because I know your phone was blowing up, but I had sense enough that everything that you sat here and said during the commercial break, I already knew. You don't have to explain that to me. I grew up in the church. And in your own way, let's start with
Listen,
the attacks that on you and the death threats on you and your family.
Well, let me just start.
Just whatever way you want to start.
Let me just start by saying first, Ricky, I thank you for this opportunity.
Yes, sir.
I thank you for the opportunity to be able to come on your show and for you to use your platform to give me a chance to just, add some context, some context and clarity to, a clip that, a whole lot of people have seen. Sadly, one of the things that has happened is, people have created a narrative that is absolutely not true. Number one, the narrative was created, excuse me, that I raised money at my church,
Right.
that I kept the people at my church hostage until I raised $40,000 for me. That's the narrative that has been shared, that I locked folks up in my church, that, I made them give $40,000 and I wouldn't allow them to leave until they gave it to me. And to be honest with you, That is absolutely false.
Yeah.
Right.
Number one, that offering was taken last year. This was a service that happened last August. Number two, it didn't happen at my local church. It actually happened at a national organization's international meeting where churches from all over the country, all over the world came together for the purpose of celebrating the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. People took issue with me saying, shut the doors. Understand, I never said lock the doors.
Yeah.
I said shut the doors. Shutting doors mean that people still have the ability to go in and out. They've taken issue with my tone. And I can honestly say, looking at the video, maybe I was a little more assertive than I should have been. And I can apologize for that. I can apologize for that. But three things I need to make sure that people understood. Number one, the $40,000, if it was $40,000 that was raised, was never given to me. That money was raised for the purpose of taking care of the budget for their conference, not Marvin Sapp. Number two, it didn't happen at my church. It happened in Baltimore. Number three, people take issue with me being firm with the ushers. Anybody that goes to church, ushers one-on-one, that's the first thing they teach you as being an usher, is that there are 3 times you don't walk. You don't walk during the altar call. You don't walk during prayer. You don't walk during the offering.
Come on, that's all we need.
That's enough. That's enough.
Because we talked, because we actually, did I not say all of that before he issued this statement?
That's enough.
Before he issued this statement last week when we talked about Marvin Sapp.
Okay.
I mentioned all of those things. We both from the church, and you tried to argue me down about this. I can do what I want.
I can do what I want.
You can do what you want to do, but you would be out of order.
Let me ask you a question then. I'm not saying that I wouldn't be out of order.
Okay, as long as you accept that part.
But let me ask you this question.
Okay.
We both church boys.
We are.
We both church boys. Have you ever, all of y'all that's watching, y'all tell me if y'all done seen this before. Everybody on this side, please stand and start from the rear. What are you doing? You're walking. So haven't you also heard this? Because I have, and I've done it. When it's time for offering, I'm leaving. I got to go. I got somewhere else I got to be. Or, okay, everybody, please excuse me in my choir. We have another service we have to attend. So we just gonna leave on out of here by offering. Or you heard a pastor say, well, I'm gonna slip out during offering time, because I don't want to create a distraction. My thing is this. People in church, this is my opinion because I'm one of them. People that have grown up in church, people that knows practically he's correct. You don't walk during prayer, you don't walk during offering, and you really don't walk at any time that there's a particular worship going on. You really just don't walk, and you put your Baptist finger up, say excuse me. Well, in offering, when it's time to go, a lot of people do leave during offering, or leave right after offering, leave while offering's going on, because some people don't find it sacred anymore. Some people don't find it sacred and haven't found it sacred in years because they don't know where their money going. Some people haven't found it sacred. Like Marvin Sapp, okay, cool. I get it. That is church etiquette, 101. And yes, the ushers probably wasn't offended because we closed the doors. Because they probably looked at them like, okay, well, we used to having the doors open. This is a conference, so we don't know what each church teach in their church because each church is different. So yes, they obey authority and close the door. But he said, we're not going to leave until we raise this $40,000. You're not going to tell me what the hell that I'm not. Because if I want to go, that's what the hell I'm going to do. I will leave in the middle of you preaching. I will leave right during altar call if I want to. I don't give a shit. You don't tell me what to do like that. And because you don't tell me what to do, and because you're not going to tell me that I'm going to sit here until you raise your $40,000 before we go on to the next thing on the program, and I'm going to have to sit here 30 minutes to an hour until you raise this 40 grand, and you want people online, the 1,000 that was watching him raise the $40,000, you're not going to tell me what to do. So you screw you and church etiquette if you think you're going to tell me what to fucking do in church. It's just not going to happen. I mean, I'm just saying, and maybe I am just the one that goes against the grain a lot because you are the devil. I'm just saying, you don't tell nobody what to do. You just don't do that, and then
I think so. The idea of telling somebody what to do, I think we need to kind of look at that, right? I don't think that I think from how you're saying it, you don't tell me what to do. I think that he was either suggesting or asking, making a request that you do not move at this time. This is offering time. This is a sacred time. So the idea that you have to be somewhere, or the idea that you came in already with your mind made up that you got to leave during offering time, or whatever the case may be.
Gonna leave.
Or whatever the case may be, that's really between you and God. And if it's really that urgent, I'm sure that an usher would have gotten out of your way. They're not going to tackle you. They're not going to manhandle you. They're not going to tell you that you cannot leave. They're going to move out your way and put the door. Or they're going to ask you, hey, stand right here. Is it important to stand right here until we get to go that we can open the door? Let me just move over to the side and let you out. Or you just tell like, hey, it's urgent. I have to get out of here. They're not going to block your way. Quit doing that shit. And I am a church boy, but I have a certain aversion to the church now. However, there are foundational things that I will always abide by when it comes to church. Offering time is one of them.
Okay.
Offering time is one of them. Prayer is one of them. Don't be disruptive. And see, it's a lot of people that sit in church like you that really come in with that attitude. You're not going to tell me what to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ma'am, sir, get out.
Okay.
Don't come here.
I won't.
Because you're disruptive. You're disruptive. And you're disrupting the flow. And what happens is that then triggers something else in somebody else. And then it becomes this whole thing. And then now we have a fucking video from a year ago about a man at a whole national conference.
Okay.
Asking people who are at a national conference.
Okay.
National conference of churches.
Got to go.
It don't even make no sense. They're at a national conference of churches. You already know what that is. If you are there, you know they're going to pull up an offering. You already know that. There are things that the church need to get done. Now, if you're going to benefit from that or not, we don't know that. But there are things that the church need to get done.
Okay. And I agree with you. I promise you, you are 100% correct. You are 100% correct. And maybe sometimes you go into the church with the wrong attitude, and like me, may have an issue with certain authority, certain kind of authority. Probably, but I was always taught that, if I want to do something, I do it, and yes, I do have respect for authority. I do have respect for some authority. Let me do it like that. But I just took issue with the fact that what he said was about more emphasis on the money and not sacredness.
Absolutely. Who is this?
Let me see.
Absolutely. It was not a directive. I think that he was orchestrating order in the church. Because just like you said, it's offering time. I gotta go.
Baptist Bank.
And then everything is moving. Everybody is moving. Nobody's paying attention. That's up. That's noise. That's not a holy moment or a quiet or meditative moment that they tell you all the time that this is offering time. This is between. You need to start. There's a consecration that needs to start happening. But you worried about this person. Give what you can. You worry about them asking about $40,000 because you don't have $40,000 in the bank. I understand how people can be upset about that. I get it. I get it. That's your church. You are there. What do you want them to do? Not not ask for offering. If they don't ask for offering, they don't have no lights, and you can't come, and they can't pay the musicians, and they can't pay the pastor. They can't pay anybody to run the church. So if you don't give, you have no church.
Agreed. And I said I would. I ain't say I wouldn't give. I just said I'm fixed to go. I can give my money and leave. What if I sent them a cash out? My offering's done.
And see, that's
I
another
can
thing
still
too.
leave.
That's another thing too. I think so. You brought up a point earlier where ministers that may have to leave, church choirs that may have to leave, that come in and sing, they only around this time or whatever. I believe that there's an order where if they're going to give before offering is, because that offering is already taken up. That's an understanding that they are moving out of this time. So if they're saying, okay, we're gonna move from the front, y'all come to the front, and then they usher the choir out of the stand and to the back. Okay, that's all order.
Is it?
That's all order.
But
if
wait a minute. So we have to have extenuating circumstances to violate a sacred thing, is what you're saying.
No, it doesn't have to be an extenuating circumstance. It has to be order.
Okay. Well, I mean, shit, I ain't in order.
Clearly, we know this.
I ain't in order. It's the $40,000 that got me. I mean, it's not. And let me clear this up. It's not the amount. It's not the amount.
It is the amount.
No, it's not the amount.
Then what is
it's not the amount. I promise you, it's not the amount.
Then what is it?
What it is the way that, that's like he said, maybe he used a more of an assertive tone.
He said he was,
he said, we are not leaving until we raise this $40,000. And he said that it costs to sit up here, talking to the preachers.
That's right.
It costs to sit up here.
Yeah.
You don't listen. This ain't Jesus paid it all. Okay. You don't tell me that because what if I'm a minister and I don't have it? Okay, what I'm gonna give?
If you're a minister, if you don't have it,
just give it, right? And then be
if you are a
reprimanded.
minister, if you don't have it, then you don't give it.
But why you up here? Because that's what they're gonna say. He said it costs to sit up here.
It does, but the cost to sit up there, I think, is more. It's not just the idea of being able to give. It costs you as a person to be a minister. And I think they're also looking at that as you go out and minister, they are paying you for that.
Okay. I'm with you on that.
So pour back into the ministry. Are we moving along?
Yes, we're gonna move along.
Yeah. Let's move along
let's
because
move along.
Q don't know no better. He is out of order. There are things that we need to continue to pray for him on because he just ain't with it no more, and it's okay.
Yes, indeed. Yes, that's all right. I'm with that. So we got another video real quick that I want to play. We're going to talk about a couple of things real quickly here before we move on. And so Pastor Jamal Bryant did a sermon. And I'm going to see if I can pull that up in a second. That's what I was trying to do. And what it happens is he was talking about the importance of legacy. And he was also talking about the importance of having your stuff together when you pass away. So he named, and maybe we don't even need to play the video. I think maybe we can just discuss it. He did mention Michael Jackson in his sermon, Prince, Aretha Franklin, and Angie Stone as most recently that he actually had to preach. And these celebrities that we know and love, all four of them in their own right, didn't have wheels. And that is really, really interesting. And I want to talk about that, so a lot of us, and a lot of us don't have wheels. I don't have one. I'm 50 years old and I don't have, I know I am 50 years old and I don't have a wheel. When you sent that to me earlier today, I was like, that's very interesting. So I don't really feel like I have anything to wheel anybody. But of course I have stuff to wheel, my family would be like, no, I want that. Well, I want that, uncle, if I was to pass. But I think it's very interesting when you create that because wheels change all the time. You can create you can create a wheel and then something happens. You can wheel somebody something, y'all may fall out. You forget to change that wheel. The whole family know y'all fell out and
you'd have left this your house.
Yeah. Yeah.
And know that y'all not together, but he done moved in your house, knowing that y'all done fell out because you didn't wield it to him. And it's difficult. You know, you have to change wills too. It becomes a very ugly situation. But go ahead and play the video.
You want me to play it? Okay.
I also want to go back and answer Keith's question and piggyback on what not answer Keith's question. Yeah,
Which one?
answer Keith's question,
Okay.
and then piggyback on something that somebody else said.
Okay, so we can do it right now. Are you talking about we said people give their hearts, or did you talking about the one before?
So
that?
yeah, so people do give up so people do give from their hearts, and if you can't, I just don't want y'all to. I still don't want that to be a thing, and to even be bullied.
Did you read the whole comment?
It's even be put give from their hearts, but the church financially. But when they need help, the church only offers. Didn't we talk? We talked about that last time too? A friend of mine, Danny, kitchen burned down, and it was like a fucking act of Congress, literally, to get the church to help him pay for his kitchen, and he was a faithful tither. Faithful tither. Somebody else said something about monies and stuff. So I think the money's also don't the churches, if I'm not mistaken, churches get money from the government to run, from the state or something, from the
depending on their programs, like if there are churches who like have like schools, they have
they get
different
money.
kind of programs, things like that that's registered with the state. They're able to get state and federal funding. They are also able to apply for grants if they're adding on to the church, or if it's for the uplifting of the community in any kind of way.
This is another thing too. So the idea, also, why do we have to pay for the word?
Okay, so JV, let's read the whole thing. The offerings used to be food and clothes to feed the community. Also, why do we have to pay for the word? I feel that they have monetized the church.
So I mean I get it, but the money, so the church has been monetized for the church has been monetized for a very, very, very long time. 20th century churches, definitely. Absolutely. This is 21st century now. It has just gotten, and y'all already know what happened in the 20th century. I mean, especially when the mega churches started to come up. So absolutely the church is monetized, but I think it's important to listen to some of those pastors who have become businessmen, entrepreneurs from pastoring churches. So not just, the church is giving this to me. Yeah, some of them do take a salary and then they capitalize on that salary by pushing books and making. Remember they used to make tapes?
Cassette tapes.
That pastor, listen.
Yeah.
It is absolutely bananas to me for me to put something on wax for you to get it. It is crazy for me, and I'm a poet, so I understand it from an artist perspective. But if I was preaching, and I know that I'm a didactic preacher, and I know that people will pay for it. I know people will pay for that. Like, right? Tapes were like $5. So we're gonna run this tape thing. And this is gonna be a ministry. We're gonna bring monies into the church. Because my voice is here. I am a known person. I have this incredible series that I am teaching. People will pay for that stuff.
Right.
So why would I give that away for free?
Okay.
Why would I give that away for free? Going back to what he said, like you want the pastor to also have a job, but go and make sure that he prays and does all of this stuff for the lay people of the church for free. You want him to pastor for free.
I mean,
and then go work a salary job.
Why not? I mean, pastors have to pay tithes too. I mean, now I get where you're coming from because a lot of people.
So what would he do then? How would he pay his tithes then? If he needed to give money and you want him to provide his pastoring service for free, how would he pay his tithes?
Out of his salary. Like everybody
else. Who giving him his salary? Who's giving him his salary?
Whoever you go to work for.
So you want him to go to work for a business. Say this pastor was a carpenter, so he's at this carpentry business. He gets his check, whatever the case may be, and then he has a church on the side.
Okay.
And he is building a congregation, and everybody's sucking everything out of him. Now he done worked 8 hours, 8 to 12 hours a day, and then now he's exasperating himself more because Sister So and So needs some shut-in help or some shut-in prayer. He has to go and he has to do this, and he's just doing this because.
I mean, but okay, I get where you're coming from, but this is real as ice water. I'm about to say, you know, when God calls you to do something, God doesn't care what you got going on. If you're going to be a pastor and you don't have the financial means to pastor, it's going to come from somewhere.
Yeah,
and so
it's going to come from the people that you pastor.
That, and if they're working, absolutely, because it's going to come out of your household as well. But and I understand the building blocks of churches, because it's going to have somebody going to come and pay something. You know, that's just what it's going to be. But
it's just the more I think about it, it's like, how do you expect for this man to work, a woman to work these hours and then put together sermons, read the word, to be able to come and feed you and pour into you,
and then too,
without no monetary gift.
And then sometimes, to be honest with you, a lot of pastors, you know, they don't take an offering because of whatever particular reason. But then there are some, you know, who raise like a certain amount of money, like for like pastoral anniversary, those kinds of deals. Oh, I see Willis coming, and things like that. You know, so every church is different, like you said. You know, and so there are some churches that monetize in their pastors, but then this is the way I look at it. If your ministry is to the point to where it is really taking away from your, let's say, everyday activity like work or something of that nature, depending on how you pastor and depending on who you set in your church to help your church run. If the pastor wants to work, you know, then fine. But there are some churches that say, Pastor, no, man, you ain't got to work. I mean, that's what we're here for.
I think that's what I honestly think. So,
but let your church get there. Don't just stop, you know, working and expect the people to pay you, and you ain't got but 15 to 50 members, and you want them to take care of the church, and you hell to the no. People have to take care of their
I don't
own.
even think that's a thing now. I think
that is a huge thing.
I don't think that can't be a thing.
It's a thing.
Where now we are in this place in the church where you're setting up a church, and you just, I think the pastor should have, like, if it's a new church and you know you don't have any monies coming in, and the people who are there, you know, they're giving, you know, of course, giving. You also have to be in the place to give to grow this church. So if you're starting from something at the rock bottom, of course you may have a job. But as the church grow, you're gonna transition yourself into pastorship, and then you're gonna do whatever, you know, you need to do. It's for us, you know, allowing the church to grow.
And there are some people who do that. You know, there are some people, and you know,
it's hard for me to believe that you come out swinging at the gate like, nah, y'all gotta pay me. It's difficult for me to believe that anybody that wants to pastor a church come out the gate, church from the bottom, and expecting people to pay his salary. That's very what's it called? What is it called? When the people be brainwashing, manipulating the folk. Damn, I can't think of the word.
You're a cult?
Yeah, it's very cultish. So no, I mean, it's not that I don't want to give. I am giving him a break because I understand how the church is ran.
Right.
And even so, yes, somebody said something, but $40,000. Yes, $40,000 at a national conference. Yes, absolutely.
Man.
Yes, they can do that. It's at a national conference of churches. Why wouldn't they be able to do that? You're already coming. What are you coming for? You already know they're going to ask you for money. And for that church to grow, it needs money.
It needs money. And agreed. You know, I agree with you. Like, I promise you 150%. But just don't tell me what to do. Just don't do that shit. It's gonna get on my nerve. All right, so real quick, we're gonna take a real quick break. I'm gonna fill our shot glasses up, and we're gonna move on to the next part of the show. We're gonna be jumping into the Queens tour next. We'll talk about the Queens tour, and then we got a couple more things we want to talk about too on here. How like y'all killing up the people? You know, I mean, they're killing up the people. Right, we'll be right back. Y'all stay tuned to us and all the good stuff. Just give us a quick second. Give us about 40 seconds. Be right back. What is wrong with you?
Listen, the Queens tour is coming, y'all. The Queens tour is coming. The Queens tour is coming. I am a man of a certain age. Grew up on music that my mom and them used to listen to. Of course, then it became my music, and now it is like the world's music. And I'm super glad that they're actually doing this tour because these women are up in age, all of them.
All of them.
I think the youngest may be Stephanie Mills, and she may be close to 70 now. I think she's like around 67, 68, something like that. But Stephanie Mills, she looks great. Stephanie Mills, Shaka Khan. Have you seen Shaka Khan?
She is gorgeous.
Shaka Khan looks amazing. Patti LaBelle and Gladys Knight. Come on, man. I saw Patti LaBelle on Sherry's show. I think I watched her 10-minute video of her talking about the Queens tour that they're getting together. Patti looks amazing.
She looks good, man.
At 80 years old, crazy. Can you imagine the music? Can you imagine the music?
You know, can I just say this? Damn, I hate this. I guess I am the devil. You might be right. It's just not perfect without Anita Baker. I'm sorry.
Man,
I'm so sorry. I'm sorry.
Miss Montgomery, Queens tour, yes. Patti LaBelle, Gladys Knight, Stephanie Mills, and Shaka Khan, all on one stage. Can you imagine all of that queendom on one stage?
Now I may go on break. If Stephanie Mills sing home, I'm gonna go on break. I'm gonna walk out.
For what?
I'm gonna walk out.
For what? See, this is when you piss me off. For what?
I like Stephanie Mills, man. I do.
Do you understand how that
Mills,
song is not just that song, but it is cultural. It is, and there has not been not one person that can sing that song like Stephanie Mills. Stephanie Mills took a what's it called? Like a fairy tale. Stephanie Mills took a fairy tale because I think but the Wizard of Oz is like a fairy tale, right?
Yeah, it's a Wiz.
So the Wizard of Oz happens, then the Wiz comes, black version of the Wizard of Oz. Stephanie Mills sings Home, which was completely written, of course, for black folks. Diana Ross sang it first. Stephanie Mills did it on Broadway, if I'm not mistaken. Stephanie Mills went and did it on Broadway and turned it into a R&B hit.
She did.
Turned it into an R&B hit, and you're gonna get up and disrespect Stephanie Mills when she's singing Home, fool. Man,
I didn't say that. We'll give you this one. That one. All right, so that's gonna be a lot of awesomeness. Especially I love me some Shaka Khan. Lord Jesus, I love me some Shaka Khan.
And Shaka Khan is clean.
And she's clean.
She's clean now, so she's not.
Man,
she's not full of drugs or anything like that. She's very holistic. She's clear. I love this for Shaka.
Man, we got to go.
I'm definitely
got to go. When they come to Houston?
I haven't checked out the dates yet, but trust me, of course they'll probably either do the Toyota Center or What's going on in Sugar Land?
I don't know.
The financial center, Sugar Land.
Okay, so salute, sir.
So this is enough now. Yeah,
I
you
know.
trying to get me drunk, man. I told you I ain't eat.
All right. So,
So Obama was on CBS News,
all right.
and he was talking to the audience. Of course, and there was a moderator there, interviewer talking to him.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Obama said that it's going to take all of us to change what is happening in the world today.
What's happening?
And I really, damn well what's happening. Shit, I understand. Shit.
Yeah, we all know what's happening.
We all know what's happening. So it's gonna take all of us. But he had said some key words that really, really kind of like, and I hope y'all are with me because I need y'all to help me out. Mr. Obama said, the most important office in this democracy is the citizen. He says the citizen is the most important office in this democracy. It's the citizen.
Agreed.
And I'm trying to figure out if that is the case, how come you let that mother sucker pay all of those states off and put Trump in office? That's one of the things that he said. He said do you believe that the most important office is the office of the citizen in this democracy? First of all, let me see what you think in the chat, if you think that. He also says that if that is the case, that you have to be willing to do something, to lose something, or to risk something.
Oh wow.
If you believe, as a citizen, if you want us to remain a democracy like we have always had a democracy and not having a king rulership over us, you would have to lose something.
Okay.
Do something. Or risk something.
So I try not to be speechless. First off, I appreciate President Barack Obama. His stick-to-itiveness, honestly, is what really kind of won them over. I think I've spoken about this publicly before. When he first came on the scene and he ran against Hillary Clinton for the nomination, the Democratic Party nomination, when he won the first time, I didn't vote for him. I voted for Hillary at that point. And people were looking at me crazy because they was like, well, why would you vote for her and not him? Well, I didn't even know who he was. And yes, I was.
So you voted for her? See, this is the shit that pisses me off about.
But wait a minute. Okay, but then didn't they just vote for Hillary going against Trump the first time? I thought that.
Yeah, but they didn't vote for Hillary because we knew her. They voted for Hillary because she was the most educated one to hold that position.
I'm just saying that unfortunately,
Q has an identity crisis that's happening. I'm figuring this out. He has an identity crisis. He don't trust black people.
I love my black people.
And most people who don't trust black people tend to vote the opposite.
That is not true. I didn't know who he was, and I really didn't. And to be honest with you, up until
he was the same person that Hillary Clinton was, except he had done everything that she did. The only thing that y'all just thought that, oh, Bill is gonna be behind Clinton. He really gonna be handling the situation.
Well, okay, I didn't think that. I really did. I thought that at the time before he won the nomination, I didn't look into him until he won the nomination, and then I started listening to him, and I started listening to his speeches, and I started watching the way that he did the campaign.
And then you probably started listening to the black journalists shit on him.
I did not.
Because they started doing that shit too. They started shitting on him and then turning everybody away. And then they was like, oh no, he's really black.
Well, I didn't have any problem with that. I knew he was black. I was just saying at that time, but then I grew to love him. There are some songs on the radio, that you grow to love because they keep playing the shit over and over and over. Then eventually to be the catch on. It was kind of the same thing, for me. But his second term for me is really what won me over for him. The way that he handled his presidency, his first time, the way he handled the ridicule, the way he handled Congress. It was completely asinine the way that our counterparts treated him, to the point to whereas he was able to still rise above a lot of different things, especially adversity in his ethnicity and his makeup. But listening to what you just said, really, really, it's the truth. But can I be honest with you? It's the mentality, of certain things. Like a black man invented the light bulb, the white man invented the electricity bill. Do you see what I'm saying? It's always an up. I got to up you on something. And in this climate right now that we're in, I'm so kind of really glad about the state of Louisiana. I don't know if you heard they did recently. If you hadn't heard about the state of Louisiana, you go and you look it up yourself. But they actually made it to where most of Trump's decisions will not impact their state economy.
It was great, and you know who actually talked about that, which I love. You guys can find this clip. I believe it's a clip that's floating around on TikTok. But Madam Vice President Kamala Harris is also at a talk, and she said out of her mouth, she said, "I hate to say I told you so," because everything that Trump is doing in office right now, this woman said from the pulpit, and y'all shitted on her.
Yeah.
She said that he was going to do it, and now he is doing it, and now these mother suckers are asking for her help. Go sit down, Mama. Go sit down. Because you told us. Yeah. Because you told us. So we appreciate you for that. But she's having a talk. She's having a talk where she is actually saying, "Hey, Louisiana, this is what everybody needs to do, like on the state level."
Yep.
See, if you vote on the state level, then there are things that what Trump is doing ain't gonna really affect you like that, because the state will take care of that.
But you already know we got Hot Wheels in office.
We got
that shit. And I don't understand.
But we appreciate what Louisiana has done, and hopefully, more states, including Texas, will follow suit.
Well, we're gonna put that on the Baptist prayer list for Texas, on the sick and shut in list, because that ain't that. As long as Governor Greg Hot Wheels Abbott is in office, this state will continue to suffer. And it is a shame that our Senate is just as ruthless. It's just as ruthless, and it just doesn't make any sense how. Now, I've said this before. And you may agree with me maybe halfway, but black folks is used to this shit.
I don't know. I don't not agree with you.
We used to
100% of it.
I
think that we are, and I think that's why a lot of us don't want to exasperate ourselves in ways to which will literally take us out of our comfort zone, our peace of mind, because we're used to this shit.
We're used to it.
And the truth of the matter is, we probably have to come up the rear and fix this shit. Simply because this is just what black folk do. But right now, listen, we tired.
We tired. Miss Montgomery, what you come and say? It says all of us owe. He means the naive, non-melanated people or the foolish, melanated MAGA people that voted this clown in office.
Mm-hmm. You know what he said at the latter part of that clip? He said, speaking along the lines of like how would you react if somebody, like, if we believe in democracy, that is a person has freedom of speech. He's speaking specifically about freedom of speech. If we believe a person has freedom of speech, how do you feel? I mean, how are you really going to kind of internalize this if somebody has the right to say whatever they say? And I have to really, and he was speaking about the ignorance in which, I say ignorance, he didn't say this, but the ignorance in which that Trump speaks to the American people. And I say, if he has the freedom to speak ignorantly, then we have the freedom to speak truth to power against his ignorance.
Agreed.
So we're not going to just sit and let somebody speak stupidly in front of our faces and not do anything about it. That's why we have Jasmine Crockett in office right now.
I love Jasmine Crockett.
Yeah,
and I was about to speak to her. She is literally, in my opinion, the voice of the Democrats.
She is the fucking voice of America at this point. Everybody who voted against Trump, she is that voice right now.
Absolutely,
she is that voice right now, and I hope that she is completely and totally protected. We need to segue into these deaths, man. Though we need to segue into these deaths, man, because Layla Ali is not dead, y'all. She is not dead.
She's not dead.
She is not dead. I don't know if y'all heard this or not, but there was a clip of someone saying that Layla Ali died at childbirth. How y'all? That shit is not even funny.
That is horrible.
That is the most horrible thing. And you know what I did? See, this is one of the reasons why we created The Devil and Its Advocate, is because if you go down the rabbit hole of these stupid ass comments, that was a comment that made me be like, yes, absolutely. They need to find the fucking idiot who created that post, and they need to be held accountable for that.
Absolutely.
I don't know what it is, but they need to be held accountable for what they have created. This woman had to go online.
She did.
Make a post saying there's a horrible video going around about me that I died giving childbirth.
She was like, I'm still trying to get the abs together. And then her abs just beautiful.
I was like, when was she pregnant? When was she pregnant? You know, if Layla was pregnant, she definitely would be showing it off.
She would. She definitely would.
She definitely would be showing off. She was literally just talking about going into the ring with this young girl that's real hot right now, boxing. Yeah. So come on, man.
I don't want her to do that though.
Listen,
I don't want her to do that. Yeah. I mean, I love Layla Ali, but I believe she can still throw a punch.
You got to know when to fold.
Listen, I love Serena Williams. Anybody knows me. I love Serena Williams, but it would be ill-advised if she ever decided to step back in the tennis ring. It just would not be, because the ladies now are hitting not only with power, they're faster. They're way faster. You know,
So you're trying to say she's old?
Well, you know, Serena got a lot of meat on her, man. She got to be able to move it, and now she'll still have power.
They're younger and faster.
Yeah, they're younger, faster, and they.
Sometimes you got to know when to hold them and fold them, baby. That's just what it is. You got to know when to hold them.
Real quick, while we on the deaths, Dennis Rodman is not dead. Dennis Rodman is not dead. Why are y'all killing up the celebrities?
We are already losing so many people, man. We don't need to lose folk who ain't dead.
Now I know Dennis Rodman was a little off for a lot of you guys even in his eccentric behavior. But Dennis Rodman, you know, is not dead. You know, he's a basketball great. He, you know, has earned his stripes, you know, on the court, and he's not dead. And one more thing, because I put Dennis Rodman on there, but it's one more thing. Toni Braxton is not dead.
No, I didn't see Toni Braxton. Are you serious? Somebody said something about Toni?
Somebody said something about Toni. My mama called me, and she was like, Quincy, is Toni Braxton dead? I said, don't you do me like that right now. She said, I know how much you love Toni Braxton. I said, hold on. I had to go on Wikipedia real quick. If you want to know somebody dead, go on Wikipedia. They update like this. And I went on Wikipedia and I searched I went on her Instagram page and stuff like that. Toni Braxton is yet alive. She's doing well. She's beautiful.
Crazy.
It's ridiculous. And one more death. Guess what? Quincy is not dead. So no bull. This happened to me a couple of months ago. So I was chilling at one of my good friends' house. We laughing, we talking, you know, playing some cards. We're just doing our thing. And so I decided I was on TikTok, And if you don't follow us on TikTok, we'll give you our TikTok handles. I want y'all to follow us on TikTok. We got some great ones out there. But anyway, so so my old boss, follows me on TikTok. I follow her. And she put out a nice cool little post, and she does like little makeup tutorials. So I was like, oh my God, you look so good, sis. Like that. And then I inboxed and said, hey, this is my new number. Give me a call. So she was like, Q question mark. I was like, yes. And she was like, okay. And then so she called me and she was like, Q, is this you? I was like, hey, baby girl, what's going on? How you doing? She was like, oh my God, thank God. I was like, what's wrong with you? What's going on? And she was like, bro, she was like, one of our old coworkers came up in here and was like, hey, you remember the guy that used to sit in front of you? She was like, yeah, you talking about Q Quincy? She was like, yeah, he died. I heard he died. She was like, what? So what happened to him? Said he died from complicated health issues. I said, well, goddamn, y'all just gonna kill me out. I said, sis, listen, I am well. I am doing well. I look well.
I am well alive.
I fuck well. Everything is well about me. I said, and who told you that I was dead? So she told me the last name. I said, you tell that hoe to call me. So the next day she gets to work and she calls me on the phone and she puts the lady on the phone. And I said, so why are you trying to kill me? And she was like, what you talking about? I was like, this is Quincy. She was like, boy, I thought you was dead. I was like, what is you talking about? What? Wait a minute. What you at? With a Q, you have been the angel of death once, side eye given. I ain't been no damn death angel. Now listen, I so can we just stop killing up the people? Can we stop killing up the people? We keep killing up the people and we putting them in the ground and all this other. Listen, these people are not dead. They are here. Thank God they are living and they are breathing.
Amen.
And we thank God for that shit.
Amen.
All right, so real quick, let me see. Do we got anything left? We got anything left? I think we done did everything.
Somebody said something earlier in the chat here about something about an apology to me. It was early on when we first saw
an apology to you.
I saw it, but I ignored it. It said something about an apology.
Moderator, help me look for it. He says it's up toward the beginning of the show.
Yeah, like when I came in, I saw something about an apology.
Okay, moderator, help me look for it. So moderator's helping me look for it. Let me see. What's up, Lee? What's up, bro? How you doing, man? Thank you for watching. Okay, so church, most churches. Hey Jennifer, what's up, boo? Thank you for watching. Keith talked about the 40K. Wait a minute. Q, your behavior is the reason why there is such a problem with trying to build a solid youth department. Man, be quiet.
We believe you. I don't know if it's deaf or down. I saw something about an apology earlier. So I don't know. Maybe they took it off. I don't know.
Well, I mean, hey, she did offer an apology to the show. Let me see. Moderator, did you say something to me? She said it was in the chat. Okay, so
that's it right there.
I mean, you see,
show Ernie her apology. Oh, that was the moderator. The moderator said that.
Okay. Oh no, I didn't show you the apology. She issued an apology on the show. Now, do you want to look at it? I mean, we got about 15 minutes.
I want to look at it.
Okay, all right. I'm just making sure. We might should we cover all our bases and shit. Before we get off, because we got about 10 minutes left now. I put on there, talking about the difference between when we were talking. I was going to segue into it. We were talking about something else. We were talking about the Queen's tour. What, in your opinion, is the difference between the music of yesterday and the music of today? Now, when I say yesterday, because we're in 2025, so music that came out in 2000, it came out in 2000, it's really considered old school now. Which is really weird.
It's very weird to me.
It's
weird because it's 2025.
It's 2025.
And some of the music is like, so, but the music has changed, but it hadn't the music has changed, but it still feels the same to me in a way. It has changed, but it still feels the same. Like we still, it's not the '90s music. Let me just say that.
It's not the
It's
90s.
not the it's
It
not
ain't
the
the
90s
90s.
music.
It ain't the 90s.
So there has been a
Not the
transition with
90s.
music and the idea that something in the 2000s, especially when you look at hip hop,
Yeah.
especially when you look at hip hop, because early 2000, and when you look at neo soul,
Oh,
because
absolutely.
neo soul to me, of course, some people don't know how to appreciate neo soul, but neo soul to me, it's different from R&B, but is R&B.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Neo soul to me is different from R&B, but is R&B. It's just a whole different language, but still that feel good music that we had in the '90s. Like, because it was literally Jill came out in 1999, but that she started her neo soul career like in 1999, but that album dropped in 2000.
Mm-hmm.
Erica dropped in 1998 or 97.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that's 97, 98, 99. It's 3 years before the 2000s hit. So, and then we had Angie Stone in 2000.
Well, India Arie, didn't she come out?
India Arie too. India Arie was
Yeah.
early 2000s.
Yeah.
Maxwell, who else? Anthony Hamilton was a little bit later on. So Maxwell, Anthony Hamilton, Eric Roberson,
And
all
then,
of those people.
I would consider him his music neo soul is Eric Benet.
Eric Benet, Music Soul Child, John Legend, Chrisette Michelle.
Yeah.
All of those, like all of that music, man, where we saw a transition. And then we just looking at the hip hop stuff, Ja Rule and Ludacris and Master P, which was in the '90s, but then his whole clique crossed over into the 2000s. We had all those folk, just hip hop, LL Cool J from the '90s into the 2000s.
Yeah.
I mean, it has. I don't know. Today, I have learned how to appreciate the music because it is offering us something different, even in hip hop.
Yeah.
I was with a friend of mine last night, and the music, like the new stuff, that's like a new neo soul that's happening. We don't even know about it.
Yeah.
It's like a whole new genre of music. And what are these artists? And every time it's like, okay, I was introduced me to something new. And I'm thinking, like, who are these artists? And they're just all like underground artists. Like, you don't even hear this shit on mainstream, but it's like a whole different genre of music.
It's I think a lot of the music, back in the days, I'm not gonna go past '90s because we're not gonna even talk about '70s music and stuff like that because those when groups and stuff were very, very popular.
Groups,
I mean,
like full groups.
I mean, full
70s,
fledged
80s, full Commodores,
Temptations,
all of that,
the Gap
craziness,
Band, and all of these guys. Even in the '90s, we had 112, we had H-Town, we had Mint Condition that transitioned into the 2000s. We had,
I'm telling you, man, we had some good ass
Jodeci,
and early 2000s.
Just poured all over into the millennium, and a lot of that music to this day is just so relevant.
And now we have mumble rap.
That's what Reggie calls it, mumble rap.
And now we have mumble rap. That's an actual thing.
Yeah.
It is the truth. But sometimes, and the mumble rap is if you have a catchy hook, that song got you hooked.
Yeah.
You don't understand nothing else nothing. You don't understand the pockets. You don't understand you don't understand the chorus. You don't understand. But if you understand that hook, man, that song will have you in a chokehold.
So let me ask you this because y'all know I love me some Lil Kim. So what about in when it comes to hip hop with the ladies? Because the female MCs nowadays are really different from Latifah, MC Light, and but then even if you're going into hardcore rap like Foxy Brown and Mia X and Lil Kim, now Nicki Minaj, I like her, but now you got the Sexy Red. I gotta give Megan Thee Stallion her props though. I'm sorry. I like Megan Thee Stallion, like, for real. I like her shit.
She is the homie. Like,
She,
for real.
man, like,
Megan is the homie. Like,
yeah, man, that girl be off the chain, bro.
She is like my little niece, man. I
Yeah.
mean, seriously, like doing her thing. Like I'm uncle to Megan. She don't even know me, but I'm claiming it. She's amazing, man. Listen, I think sometimes we need to shut up because we had Foxy Brown, we had Lil Kim, we had Choice, we had a lot of underground nasty rappers. They were underground. They wasn't mainstream. Kim, Foxy, mainstream, and then after Kim, then Nicki came.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Now they Nicki. Now it's Cardi B, and now you have Sexy Red. So it's always, you're gonna have that. Even way back when, like back in the 50s and 60s, they had nasty ass music going on then.
Yes, they did.
So you won't always have that element of song that you just gonna have to kind of like figure out if you want to listen to it or not. That's just what it is. Did you see that clip with Mickey Howard when she was on this podcast and she said that was no reason for Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion to be bumping coochies on national television?
Oh wow, from Mickey Howard.
From Mickey Howard.
Wow.
Who also I love.
I love her too.
Love her voice always. But it was very interesting to hear her say that. But of course, I think we tend to get in, and Mickey has always been a classy woman, right? And she's probably coming from a perspective that she has always had. She's an R&B singer. She's not a hip hop artist. She's just not. So she thought it was disgusting. She thought that they shouldn't do that. There was just some things that I thought that they shouldn't do on television either. But we're not in that age no more, and I hate that for us because of the children's sake. But we are not here to raise your children. Raise your own children.
All right.
And I say that because you really can't depend on village mindset anymore because we're torn in that way. So find your village.
There's a song that's popping up on my head. I got to remember the artist, but I got the beat in my head. But I'm gonna throw some of the lyrics out there. And some of y'all, when y'all hear what the lyrics I'm about to give y'all throw the song in the comments because I don't remember the artist. But the name of the song is called Eating Ain't Cheating. And it was called Eating Ain't Cheating.
It must be some shit y'all listen to.
Listen, let me tell you something.
It had to be some shit y'all listen to.
That song was mainstream, I'm telling you. And she told a story at the beginning. She said that she had a dude that was a married man. And she said that she wasn't going to sleep with the married man. But she always sent that man home with a mouthful and a glazy face. Eating ain't cheating. So yeah, that's been a show on today. It was a good show. Good show.
I apologize for us ending on that note, y'all. But anyway, if y'all love like new R&B kind of pop, new R&B music, and y'all know this artist, if y'all know this artist has a new song called Bae. Her name is Carrie Hilson. The song is amazing. So I actually think that Carrie Hilson should have given that song to Kelly. Kelly Rowland. I think she should have gave that song to Kelly Rowland because Kelly Rowland could have actually done something with the song. Not saying that Carrie don't. Carrie has a beautiful voice, but Carrie's a songwriter. That's just what it is. She's still trying to be that girl. She is that girl that's for songwriting is concerned. But however, I think that Kelly Rowland would have done that. I think that she would have made a lot of money off that song. But this is the crazy shit. Do you know it's 10 people on the motherfucking songwriting credits? 10 people wrote that song. How is that even possible? Crazy.
Verse after verse after verse after
Lord,
verse.
10 people. I say, like, who is gonna get paid? Ain't nobody gonna get no money.
Shit. Yeah.
So hopefully this song does well. But anyway, the song is called Bae, B-A-E. It's a beautiful song. Y'all go listen.
All right. So definitely do that. There are some things that I'm gonna be Big Cynthia. Thank you, D. I see, you know what? You gotta leave it to my brother to find it for me. Big Cynthia, baby.
You from Dallas, ain't you?
No, listen, Big Cynthia was known all across the country, man.
Big,
she was huge, and that was a huge song back in those days. You know,
What's back in those days?
I mean, I think it was maybe like the 40s, right, D? Maybe the 40s.
Oh,
50s.
okay.
Yeah.
Listen,
You know,
it's a listen. If you're talking about back then, I'm thinking like, okay, I don't know Big Cincy, but I get it.
I like some of the blues. You know, I like the blues. You know, some. You know, and that's another thing. Like a lot of underground blues singers that has not come out, and I don't know why, because I like the blues. There are new songs out there. You know, the blues is what that is. You
Blues
know,
is just another way of singing country music. That's what
well, you know, I like country music too.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna even start on you with the Beyonce's country songs
blues
and
is
stuff
all
like
right.
that. You know, that kind of deal, because you love Beyonce.
I absolutely do, and we can move on.
Listen, everybody, it's been a great show on tonight. It's been a great show. It's been a great
Thank
show.
y'all so much for joining us tonight. We appreciate you. Come back and see us.
Please do, because we like seeing y'all too. You know, y'all come back and see us. Make sure you tune in the morning for MTG Live with myself, Mo Swag, and Hendrix. We're gonna be. Somebody told me, Cassie. I'm gonna put Cassie out there. She told me. She said that we owe them one more week because of last week's kerfuffle. And so if you know, I love Judge Judy. Kerfuffle. You know, it's a great word. It's a great word, you know. And it actually lightens the load when you say kerfuffle.
Yeah,
you
last week was definitely a
kerfuffle, you know. Yeah, you said kerfuffle. but check this out. So, but for real, in the morning, check us out for What Do Women Really Want Part 4. And then if we do a Part 5, it's gonna be the week after, because we're gonna be celebrating Mo's birthday. Mo Swag is turning 164 years old, and we're going to be right here to help her celebrate her 164th birthday. And so we are so excited. We're thanking God that He is sparing and lending and lengthening the time for Mo Swag. Oh, that's all right. It's okay. I think we got.
I plugged the whole thing over. You got the light out.
That's all right. But yeah. So you got anything you want to say? You want to give anybody any encouraging words before we leave?
Now y'all do that tomorrow. I ain't got nothing to encourage y'all.
All right,
Y'all
so
have a good night.
all right, so this one ready to go, and I'm ready to go too a little bit. So y'all have a good one. We speak to y'all on tomorrow, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. Y'all turn in right here, YouTube. Thank you so much, YouTube, and all you good stuff like that. And we'll see y'all in a minute.
Peace out.